What's good, guys? I thought I'd just do a quick video today on how to stay injury free with your training, particularly as you're getting older. All those little niggle wears and tears you had in your late teens and early 20s, your body could recover from really fast. But I found once you hit the age of 30, your body doesn't recover quite as fast. So you have got to take extra precautions. And the three most common areas I found which are the most prone to injury, which cause the most serious injuries, are number one, your lower back, number two, your kneecap joint, and number three, your elbow joint. They're the three most common areas which I found are the most prone to injury. And in today's video, I'm just going to quickly go over how to avoid injuries in those areas so you can keep training for the long run without suffering any injuries. Number one, and by a distance, top of the list, it's your lower back. Without a good lower back, without having your lower back there, you can't even get up off a couch, you can't stand up straight. If you injure your lower back, the whole situation is a complete nightmare. I'm just being brutally honest. I remember years ago injuring my lower back doing T-bar rows, caught it on the leg press, my back knocked straight, heavy deadlifts, all stuff like that made my lower back. It was my right disc, it went, I couldn't get up off the couch, I was having to get painkillers. I hit a sciatic nerve that went down my back into my legs. The whole situation was a nightmare, and it's a position which I don't want you guys to be in, hence why I'm making this video. So any exercise which requires you kneeling over, so like your deadlift, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, rear delts, T-bar rows, you've just got to take a super extra precaution when doing these exercises. Now, I'm not saying don't do these exercises. Definitely do them, but don't be doing 1, 2, 3, up to 5 reps. Higher the reps, go for 15, 20 reps, lighten the weight, make sure your form's on point, because the risk of these exercises are enormous. The risk to reward ratio just isn't there. Without your lower back, you can't stand up straight, you can't get up off the couch. So that's why, in my opinion, number one on the list, sorry, even I'm waffling on a little bit, just take super extra precaution of your lower back because it is super important. Number two is your kneecaps. Your kneecap joint, now this takes a pounding, to be honest, with any leg exercise. Any form of squatting will hurt the kneecap to some extent. However, I found the worst exercise, in my opinion, is the leg extension. That, in my opinion, is the worst exercise you can do for the kneecap joint. So when you are doing that exercise, if you do want to do it, it's a shaping exercise, really. That's just my opinion. It didn't particularly have much more muscle on, just give it a bit of a different look. If you want to do the leg extensions, always go for higher reps. Don't be doing like couple of reps, 5 reps. Always aim for higher reps, similar to the lower back exercises. Higher the reps, lower the weight, make sure your form's on point, and it just lowers that risk of injury. Because to be honest, any leg exercise will to some extent harm the knee joint. You've just got to make sure that you're not causing more damage than necessary, if that makes sense. And then last but not least, we've got the elbow joint. Now the elbow joint, any pressing exercise, dumbbell pressing, shoulder pressing, any pressing exercise, even bicep curling's another one, with the straight bar, it's going to cause damage to an extent with your elbow joint. So when it comes to that, again, take extra precaution. Just make sure you're not doing like super low reps, anything silly. Always aim for higher reps. Make sure your form's on point. Lower the weight. Now, I'm not saying, there are times if you want to do like 8 to 10 reps, 6 to 8, by all means do it, but don't be doing like a single reps or max effort or just a couple of reps. The risk to reward ratio just isn't there, unless you're into powerlifting. If that's your thing, then that's different. But for the average person just looking to get in shape, feel better, look better, don't be doing anything like that, because it does put an enormous pressure on your elbow joint. And I did mention it before, the worst exercise, in my opinion, now it's come to me, is the straight bar bicep curling. Bicep curling causes a bit of harm, but when you're doing the straight bar on biceps, that causes unbelievable pain. It does for me anyway, in my elbow joints. So yeah, then for those 3 areas, your lower back, your kneecaps, and your elbow joint, they're the 3 most common areas I found which are the most prone to injury. So in summary, I'd say lighten the weight, higher the reps, 15 to 20 reps, and make sure your form's on point. And last but not least is supplement with vitamin D. Vitamin D does get underlooked a little bit, in my opinion. I get it from Holland & Barrett. You can get it from anywhere. But vitamin D is not just good for testosterone levels. I use it for my bones and joints. I use 4, you can use 3, 4 or 5 little tablets a day of vitamin D. It's not super expensive, but vitamin D, particularly as you get older anyway, even if you're not working out, I'd recommend take vitamin D. Vitamin D definitely helps when you are working out and damaging your joints, but end of the day, they will take damage through weight training. The vitamin D I found definitely does help. So I hope that video has been helpful. I'm not going to waffle on too much longer, and feel free to hit me down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I'm more than happy to reply.